It's a beautiful day here. We had big rain yesterday, and temperatures for Borneo are not too bad. It's not as humid as I was expecting today, but here's the Fairy Cave entrance. We're paying our fee. It's free parking here. So on arrival, we found out that you need special footwear to go into the Fairy Cave. You can rent special footwear, but if you have like a flip-flop or something like that, they are not allowing you to go in. So Donna unfortunately had wore a flip-flop, and so they wanted her to rent the shoes, but she thought they were maybe not to her foot liking, so she's gonna not bother to come into this. They have available for you if you come with the wrong shoes. Some people here, I thought these were the shoes you could rent, but they're obviously somebody else's shoes. They're like a rubber overshoe. I don't know how comfortable they are or if they have your size. Here I go, up to the top of the Fairy Caves. I'm gonna mount the stairs. I'll take some video on the way up. Some information on just the area. This is the staircase they built here to take us up to the top. I have no idea how many stairs, but I bet there's at least 300. It's full of nice echo explanations here on what we see here. They're very much trying to reduce the impact of humans on this area. Beautiful rock face here. Made it to the first landing. Just a scan of the area. Mountains in the background. Focusing on these echo signs they have up here. I think they're counting down as the higher you go. It might have started at 500 million years ago. Now we're at 340. Around the corner is 245. Well, I'm happy to say we're almost to the top. I'm not too winded. Heading up to the top here. There's an ominous sign there. Okay, we're about to enter the cave itself. Pretty excited. Here's a trail map. This all was formed millions of years ago. There's a beautiful sidewalk all the way through here. Believe it or not, they want you to bring your own torch, or you can rent these because it gets dark. It doesn't appear to be like in some caves where they've illuminated it with light, so you do need a torch. Roland's just shining his in here now. Interesting. Roland heading up the stairway. The stair is quite steep. Goes right up there. Okay, here we're going up to the lighted area. The stairs are quite steep, and the water's dripping on my head.
Oh, yes.
Climbed that first bunch of stairs. We've come to an area here. Looks like it's open to the sky. I think this is why they post warnings for when it rains, because I'm sure the rain collects in some of the ditches and it must just cascade through here. But it sure is interesting. Rock formations are very, very interesting to look at. There's the staircase we just rolled down. As you can see, it's really steep.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Up for more. It's opened again up there. I can see it's looks like it's green and some lichen moss on the walls and ferns. Let's have a look. I don't know if I could really capture how epic the view is here, but if you're ever in this area, please don't miss it. It's just amazing to see. They have staircases here. I'm just carefully just panning around. It's quite a large area. To keep it in scale, there's some folks coming down up on that upper railing there. So it's quite immense. A little mini ecosystem right here. We've climbed up about halfway. You can see that opening in the rock there. And people are heading up. Still gonna keep going up. It's called the Twilight Trail. I'm not sure what that trail is called, but we may end up over there at some point. The route we took up. You can see there's some folks right there admiring the views like we were just a minute ago. The rock, it goes way up. You can hear a slight echo, but it's a very well marked trail so far. You just gotta hold on. Watch where you're going. Sure is spectacular. Quick pan here. This is the area. There's a big, nice rest area here. Platform. We had a nice drink here. Chatted with some folks from Brisbane. Just a quick thing here. You can see the people way on the other side. I'll zoom in. Gives you an idea of the size of this canyon. This cave, I should say. Some stalactites up there. Okay, we're on another trail here in the same sort of area. I'm going to follow Roland up. He went ahead of me. Like I said, there's stairs all the way up here. Some kind of spider right in there. That's a good sign. I'm coming, Roland. We're at the top of this trail here. Another little scan. They put another little wooden patio here for a bit of a rest. I don't know if you could hear it up at the top when I was videoing at the last little section, but I think off in the background you could hear bats. They're chirping out in the back, so I don't think they like having people in here. But I haven't seen any swooping around. It's maybe because it's the daylight. But we're just going to continue all the way down. There's a handrail here, and the steps are not too bad overall. I didn't find any real missteps, like where they're out of alignment where I might trip, but there was one or two. Just taking in the sights. Definitely see the areas that get the water in this cave. They have the ferns growing, whereas further back there was no ferns growing. I'm sure it was just full of bat guano. But this area here you can see is wet, but as you go higher, there's no moss or anything. There just seems to be a line of green, and everything above it is not really growing. And there's stuff growing on the outside, but that's not growing in here. So there's one way in, one way out here. Another beautiful scene of flora and fauna. This area here obviously gets wet from the rains that we had yesterday. So you got to be very careful here. There's no handrail at this particular section. I just flipped on my light. Gonna head down very carefully. I've been in quite a few caves over the years in North America. Each cave has its own unique flavor. Some are a little tighter than others, and some have lots of stalactites and stalagmites. Some have rivers right through the bottom of them. You can actually go for a boat ride. This one here is just like a big hole in the mountain. and they let you get in it and tour around. But I do recommend, they say, have good shoes, and if not, they have shoes that you can rent. Again, here's this cavern that we're in. This is the Fairy Caves. This is the steepest part of the trail here. We did walk up it already once. There's Roland down there. And I gotta go down and be very careful. I'm gonna turn the camera on. I hope it's not too shaky as we go down. I'm gonna have to keep one hand firmly on the railing. It's very steep. Narrow, short steps too. As you can see, my feet are actually right off the stair. So I have to be very careful. This is like when I used to sail. The ships had very narrow staircases and very steep also. But back then in those days, I used to slide down the railings. Not today. Made it to the bottom. The rain drops were falling on my head for a minute there. Looking for the route. It says exit. Here we go. This is another steep stair to head to the exit. Not a problem. Nothing grows right in here, even though there's moisture dripping on my head. That looks like at one point that was a stalagmite. I imagine over the years people have got in there and broke them off. This could have been water here for millions of years, dripping at some point to create these unique formations. Anyway, I gotta go down these stairs here. Oh, and we'll see how I do. Catch you at the bottom. Okay, we're coming out of the Fairy Caves. The entrance is both the entrance and the exit. Look at that rock hanging there. Maybe hung there for 400 million years. I've come to the end of my tour of the Fairy Cave. I really enjoyed it. It's a different style of cave from what I'm used to. I'm used to usually caves that they go into the ground really deep and you don't see anything unless it's illuminated. This one, you only need an illumination torch just for the first little part when you get through the entrance. Once you get through the entrance, it does open up into a great big area, and it is exposed to the rain because you can see that there's water been running through it, and there's various forms of flora and fauna, but only to one point. Above that one point, like I was saying earlier, there is nothing growing. It's all just rock. But this cave here, what it has a very good walkway. Steps are very well maintained. There's railings mostly throughout it. There is one section that there's no railing. They have little patios, wooden patios. You can sit and chat. We had a little chat with some people from Melbourne. It was very nice. And do I recommend the tour coming out here? I absolutely do. It's a little bit of a climb up, but it's very well. The stairs are really well designed. And there's spots you can read the signs on the way up. If you're tired, you can rest and read the signs. It looks like it goes progressively by millions of years. The higher you go, the less million years you find. But you are surrounded when you come out onto this deck. It's a beautiful area to sit. You can look at the sky and the mountains in the background, as I've shown you earlier. And overall, I think this is a really good spot. If you're ever in Borneo and you're in the Sarawak area of Kuching, come on out. Enjoy the sights of Sarawak.